So I'm Lou Matera, I'm CEO and founder at YouthSport Nutrition. My background is in professional sport. I studied applied sports science at university and worked initially as an intern in the sports medicine department at a Premier League football club, pre and post graduation with the academy teams. I worked up from the under-9s to the under-18s. So the background behind YSN, long story short, I noticed a large gap in the players' ability and parents' ability to get the right nutrition in before, during and after training or matches. Elite youth athletes are at a greater risk of nutritional deficiencies due to balancing periods of rapid growth, the high training demands of their sports, busy schedules and sometimes selective eating habits. This places a heightened demand on their diet to help them fuel and refuel right to avoid deficiencies. And at the time, there was no quick, convenient solution to help parents provision their athletes nutrition for before, during and after sport. The club's facilities, the coaching team, coupled with the dedication of the players and parents was great, it was fantastic. But when it came to the application of getting the right foods in for sometimes long journeys home 4 or 5 times weekly, it was a lot easier for families to grab vending machine snacks or fast food on the way home. As I suppose it ticks a lot of the boxes. They're quick, they're easy, they're ready to eat, they taste good. But in terms of actual nutritional value and application to support young athletes playing at the top of the game, it obviously isn't sustainable or the best option to use each and every time. Some of the common struggles that parents have a lot of the time is with balancing their own time, full-time work, commutes, school runs, to and from training, so it's not always possible for them to prepare proper meals or shop for the right foods to bring with them all the time. Young athletes, they've got different nutritional needs to their counterparts or adults or younger athletes, as the focus for them is primarily on structural development and growth. Young athletes, particularly adolescents, need to eat smart to ensure they're getting the best out of their sports training. Again, they need to balance participation in top-level sport, normally 5 times a week, sometimes a couple of times a day. That includes the commute, school, competition, social life and downtime, so they have to make some big sacrifices, and we don't want the nutrition to be the thing that lets them down. I think as any successful athlete will tell you, it's the combination of training, coaching and nutrition that need to come together to create a winning recipe. If one of them 3 components are lacking, then typically the other 2 aren't as effective. And as a parent looking after your kids, getting the nutrition right is really important, but it's also quite a complex topic to master, even for us as adults. Children are notorious for selective eating or picky eaters. There's dietary preferences, intolerances, different schedules, sports position within sports, age groups, genders, to name a few. They all have their own nutritional strategy, and that's fine if you're a fully fledged sponsored athlete with your own nutritionist or chef, but for most this isn't the case, especially for those up and coming athletes. So what I wanted to do with YouthSport Nutrition is to create a lifestyle brand that's set up to meet the unique needs and values of young athletes in sport. So we wanted to help sports parents out by providing the knowledge required to help their athletes get the right foods in at the right time, and also provide a convenience range of products that are specifically designed for young athletes that serve as a healthy or wholesome alternative to their kids, either skipping meals, eating junk or fast food on the way home. So it took us about 2 years to develop a NUTRI-TEEN shake. I think from the outside, looking in, it probably looks like a typical meal replacement or sports supplement, but there's some key differences in the product that make it specific to the unique needs of young athletes. In order to get all of the nutritional content put together, we had to collate a wealth of sports nutrition research globally to identify exactly what the key nutritional requirements of young athletes look like when compared to their adult counterparts. So to succeed at the top level, young athletes, they need to work hard and also eat smart. When you factor in long commutes to school or college, early morning training or late evening finishes, the time pressures on parents to provide the correct meals can sometimes be difficult. Selective eating, busy schedules or long commutes sometimes do get in the way. So NUTRI-TEEN was developed to ensure that the heightened and unique nutritional needs of a young athlete that can't be catered for from a regular healthy diet can be provided in both a convenient, delicious and efficient manner after sport. So we developed NUTRI-TEEN, which is the world's first fortified recovery nutrition shake for active youths to support their nutritional needs when whole food isn't available or to counter selective eating. Youth athletes are at a greater risk of nutritional deficiencies. It's typically due to their training loads, busy schedules, and obviously going through rapid periods of growth. NUTRI-TEEN was developed by evaluating these common nutritional deficiencies and the heightened need for specific nutrients important for that phase of growth and development. So each shake contains a specific blend of nutrients, including protein, fats, carbs, and 16 essential micronutrients that are tailored to the unique requirements of a young athlete. It's designed as a recovery drink or meal replacement for athletes to enjoy after intense exercise whenever good quality whole foods aren't available. A key point of difference is that instead of the normal muscle protein orientated mass market nutrition shakes, which are typically centered around athletic prowess, so your bigger, better, faster, stronger, skinnier marketing, for us it's not about the stereotypical sports nutrition image associated with supplements. Youth sport nutrition is all about promoting health, balance and responsibility. So we're moving away from the body image types, especially for the highly sensitive demographic that we cater for. So prior to NUTRI-TEEN Shakes being available, there was two main market products on either side of the spectrum. You've got baby powder or bodybuilding protein shakes, the latter typically being associated with steroids, large, big, muscly men or skinny women, when in reality the products themselves are just powdered food that provide a convenient source of nutrients. We developed NUTRI-TEEN to bridge that gap in the middle for adolescents who are going through that growth phase. The key differences in NUTRI-TEEN Shakes is mostly found in the specific amounts and types of micronutrients, which are your vitamins and minerals that are needed by young athletes to support them. The key focus of the product is around structural development, so calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, phosphorus, which all come together to support the structural development or bone growth, which is one of the key differentiators for adolescent athletes as they go through their growth spurt. Young athletes are balancing frequent, high-level training alongside transitioning through periods of rapid growth, which is quite unique to this age group. In some cases, some young athletes are already competing in adult rankings and they train just as hard with very high strains and stresses on their body to grow, develop and recover quickly. We've got a number of breakthrough athletes who are under 18 or under 16 in the Olympic teams, already competing as professional sports stars. And again, if their nutrition isn't on point, then not only will their sports performance suffer, but it also impacts a wider range of issues around cognition, memory, concentration, normal growth, which is important, and development, their body composition, to name a few. And it can lead to some issues later in life if it's not done correctly. Each and every micronutrient in a NUTRI-TEEN shake is included in specific relative amounts based on a young athlete's age. Obviously, kids don't want to have either too much or too little of their recommended daily values or intakes. So the way we designed NUTRI-TEEN was to provide the right amounts for this age group or age category to ensure that we're eliminating all potential of any common nutritional deficiencies, and also to ensure that they're getting the complete nutrition required as a safe alternative to either skipping meals or, again, eating junk foods from the vending machine or on the way home. For some young athletes, they travel long distances from home to training, they get back late and they don't want to eat a full meal and go to bed on a full stomach. On the flip side, some sports such as swimming, which are quite physically demanding, they've got quite early starts, so athletes are having to go on and do a full day at school after morning training. They're back in the pool again on the evening. So getting their nutrition right is important to keep them going in training optimally. So the core age groups that can use our NUTRI-TEEN shakes are typically 12 to 19-year-old, but there's application for under 12s if whole foods aren't an option for whatever reason. So we designed our NUTRI-TEEN shakes to allow for relative serving sizes that can be used for younger age groups who struggle with their nutrition. NUTRI-TEEN shakes, they're quick, they're easy, there's no shopping or preparation required, it's delivered straight to your front door. So it really does help sports parents with their busy schedules, and of course they taste good too, so we can get around the normal picky or selective eating of young athletes. Employing a food-first approach, especially for younger athletes, always takes precedent. And YSN do a lot of work in the sports community to teach parents, coaches and athletes at all levels on how to fuel and refuel correctly to support their performance. And we do this through our sports consultancy arm of the business. In an ideal world, parents or athletes would have food ready, they'd have it made with them as and when needed, but again, busy lives away from the kitchen. If it's a case of grabbing food from the vending machine or on the gas station on the way home, vending machine chocolate, crisps, it's not always going to be the best option. So what do NUTRI-TEEN Shakes actually do? So historically, sports supplements have been wrongly associated with big muscles, weight loss, or as containing harmful substances. In reality, powdered supplements are just food designed for convenience. Contrary to popular belief, they won't make anyone bigger, faster or stronger. And I know there's a large stigma for parents around the typical bodybuilding stereotype associated with sports drinks, and it's something that we want to change by being fully transparent about what our product range does and doesn't do. Sometimes for parents, powder is a strange concept for some. Again, it's similar to bread, just less processed. Again, bread is essentially powder and flour. It's got to be proved and baked, etc. Whereas our NUTRI-TEEN Shakes are already in powder form, so there's less waste. They can't be bruised in transit or again thrown out because it doesn't look good. There's no water in it, so it has over 18-month shelf life, which is again is great for sustainability and creating less food waste. And parents are getting, again, between 10 and 20 full meals per pouch per serving, which when worked out versus the cost of lower value fast foods, again, it works out at great value considering the nutrition that they're getting. Again, our shakes, they won't make you bigger, better, faster, stronger. That's what athletes train for. Our NUTRI-TEEN Shakes just ensure that as an absolute minimum, athletes have exactly what they need nutritionally to support recovery, health and normal development. So taking our NUTRI-TEEN Shake isn't going to make your athlete bigger, better, faster, stronger. That's what they're training and their coaching's for. But it will ensure that they're meeting their daily nutrition intake for times when whole foods aren't available. And they need to save time, or you need to save time, by having a wholesome nutritional drink for your athlete that contains the most important nutrients to support their recovery and normal growth. For me, it's important that parents and athletes don't see NUTRI-TEEN Shakes as a magic formula. Without the sports training, coaching, etc., it's just food in powdered form for added convenience. At YouthSport Nutrition, we also wanted to make each shake affordable, and due to its rich nutritional comprehensive content, it can also double up as a food powder, which means it can be used to replace normal meals if required. Our NUTRI-TEEN Shakes, they're all Informed Sport batch checked so that they're suitable for elite athletes to consume without the worries of contravening anti-doping rules. And we'll be building YSN up to be the #1 go-to nutritional firm for youth athletes to serve our mission, which is to eliminate youth athlete undernourishment globally.